Hey guys, Prowl1701 here, and today we're going to be talking about Doctor Who Series 6 from the Modern series, which of course is Matt Smith's second series. And my question is it good? Looking back on it from 2024, is it good? Does it hold up? And do you go back and watch it often? Now, let's have a look at the episodes, and I'm going to be honest, I don't go back to this one a lot. It's actually one of the ones I go back to least, I think. And that's what got me thinking about this video. I can't even tell you all the episodes that are on this, so we're going to look at it. I have the glorious steelbook right here. And Sophie did a fantastic job with that artwork, by the way. Let me give her a nice hats off to her. I do like that one. I wish she hadn't gone with the Doctor's green coat, because I hate that one. But everything else looks good, including that background. I probably wouldn't have gone with the hat either. But everything else looks good, including that background. I do like that steelbook. So, we've got A Christmas Carol included on here. And I do like A Christmas Carol. I don't think I technically count that as part of Series 6, but I do like A Christmas Carol. The Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon, I like. I've talked about them before. I do enjoy them. I love the fact it's got the guy playing the young Canton Edward Delaware or whatever, the third. I like him a lot. He's really good in Battlestar Galactica as well. And I enjoy the story, and I love the idea of the silence. This is a good two-parter. Curse of the Black Spot, I enjoy more than most. It's a good filler episode for watching every blue moon. I could watch it once or twice a decade and be good, but I don't dislike it. It is fine. It's a solid C-level tier story for me. The Doctor's Wife is good. Although I don't go back and read it's an odd one. It's a good story, but I never really have the desire to go back and rewatch it. Does that make sense? It's not one of those I'm like, I need to go back and rewatch The Doctor's Wife. Now, I have seen it multiple times, but it's been a long time since I gave it a watch through. Maybe I need to do it again. Even though it's good, I don't feel that strong desire like I do with a lot of stories to rewatch. Now, the Rebel Flesh and the Almost People, I don't get into that one. This is where the series starts to drag me. Let's be honest, the first half of Series 1 is better than the second half of Series 1. We'll get to that. I don't get into this one. It's not bad, and it does some interesting things, but I really don't get into it. I mean, I wouldn't put it like as a bottom tier story, but it wouldn't even be average for me. I don't know. I don't get into it. I just don't get into it. A Good Man Goes to War is good. Not perfect. It has its flaws, but it's good, and I enjoy it, and it's a great mid-season finale. So the first half of the series is pretty good. I don't know why I find it a bit forgettable, and I don't care to go back and watch it. Something about the tone of Series 6. Because parts 1 and 2 do feel like part of a cohesive whole series, unlike Series 7, which very much feels like different seasons. The two halves of them feel like two different series. Series 6 feels like they're both part of one whole. And while I like Series 1 better, it has this tone to it that does not have a strong rewatchability for me, especially in 2024. The next episode, of course, which started part 2, was Let's Kill That Guy. I don't really care for that one. It does some stuff I like. Don't get me wrong. There are some moments in it. But overall, it's just uninteresting. And I never want to go back and rewatch it now. Which is a lot of this season. I don't feel the urge to go back and rewatch it. Night Terrors, I just can't stand. I don't like Night Terrors. That's one of my least favorite episodes of Doctor Who. I'll be honest. I just don't get into it at all. It does nothing for me. The Girl Who Waited is good. I have seen it multiple times, and that could be why I don't go back and rewatch it much, is because I have seen it probably 4 times or so, something like that. I did used to rewatch it a bit back then. It's a very good episode. It's well written. It's well acted, with a nice ending. It's a good episode. Maybe if it wasn't lumped in this season, maybe if it was in Series 5, I'd be more optimistic about going back to it. I don't know. It's definitely a shining beacon, though, in Series 6. The God Complex, I've talked about this one before. I don't really care for the actual story, but I love the execution. It's directed very well. I love the camera movements. Again, I don't really go back to it simply because I don't enjoy the story. We have Closing Time, which I like, but it has a terrible, dumb ending with the We Beat Him With Love, Alfie, the Damon's ending, which doesn't really work for me, kind of lets the story down. I always tend to love 11 with Craig, but again, maybe it's because it's mixed in with this series, it doesn't do much. And The Wedding of River Song, while not being objectively bad, is just a convoluted mess. I mean, it's overly complicated. There's a lot going on. So the funny thing is, looking back at it, there's not necessarily a lot of episodes in this series that I just flat out dislike strongly. It's just not many that I have this strong urge to rewatch. Like, very few am I just like, I need to rewatch. Like, right now, there's not a single episode that I've talked about that I have the urge to go back and rewatch. Even though there's some good ones here, like Impossible Astronaut, Day of the Moon, and The Girl Who Waited, for example. Do I want to go back and rewatch them right now? Nah. And Matt Smith's like my favorite modern Doctor. But I have no urge to go back and rewatch any of these. And that's kind of sad and interesting. It's because the series as a whole, to me, just has this kind of meh feel to it. Just meh. How do you describe Series 6? Meh. It feels overly complicated while also being uninteresting. It has some neat ideas, but they don't feel refined. Like Stephen Moffat had other things on his plate and couldn't fully commit to it. And then they're not resolved as well by the final as they could be. It sets up a nice mystery box for those first 2 episodes that it doesn't completely deliver on, and the finale that there's just too much going on. Is it good? Not really. Series 6 is one of my least favorite seasons/series of Doctor Who. It just doesn't work for me. Even though most of the episodes in there I at least find decent. And there's some good ones in there. I never want to go back and rewatch some of them. Like, say I would Series 5 or especially Series 7B, which I think are both better. And I'd even rather watch Asylum and A Town Called Mercy than a lot of them here. I guess I feel like all the stories just kind of run into each other, so I just put all of them in this one big meta ranking of meh, if that makes sense. So yeah, I would say is Series 6 good? I'd say overall, as a series, no. Even though some episodes are good, as a whole, no. I would say no. So I want to know what you think. So comment down below and let me know what you think of Doctor Who Series 6 and its individual episodes. Other things to do, don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon down in the description of links to that if you would like to check that out. Several different tiers there to choose from. My entry-level tier is only $2 a month. I want to give a shout-out to some of my top-tier patrons, Stephen Crane, Colin Coney, and Finn Perkins. I appreciate their support and the support of all of my patrons. It does make a difference, and it is appreciated. I also have a P.O. box down there. If there's anything you'd like to send me to look at and review. Simon sent something recently. Thank you for that, Simon. I also have a link to my Amazon wish list down there, and YouTube memberships are available as well. Most importantly, thank you for watching.